Right now, somewhere in the wild, a snake is following a path it has traveled before. Not because it accidentally ended up there. Not because instinct randomly pushed it in that direction, but because it remembers. For decades, people believed snakes were little more than living reflexes. Creatures that reacted, creatures that survived, creatures that forgot. But modern research is revealing something deeply unsettling. Snakes may remember far more than we ever imagined. They remember safe places. They remember danger. They remember hunting grounds. And in some cases, they may even remember you. Today we're diving into one of the most misunderstood abilities in the animal kingdom, snake memory. We'll uncover how snakes find the same hiding spots year after year, why some snakes return to locations they haven't visited for months, how they learn from bad experiences, and the discovery that forced scientists to rethink what these animals are truly capable of. Stay with me until the end, because the final revelation completely changes the way most people see snakes. And it suggests that somewhere beneath those cold, unblinking eyes, a record of the past is always being written. The biggest myth about snakes begins with a simple assumption. People see a snake and think, there isn't much happening inside its head. No emotions, no planning, no memory, just instinct. But if that were true, a snake's survival would be almost impossible. Imagine waking up every day with no memory of where food exists, no memory of danger, no memory of shelter. You wouldn't survive very long. Neither would a snake. And yet snakes survive in some of the harshest environments on Earth. Deserts, rainforests, swamps, mountains, urban neighborhoods, places where a single mistake can mean death. To survive there, they need information. And information requires memory. One of the strongest pieces of evidence comes from something scientists call sight fidelity. The term sounds complicated. The behavior is simple. A snake leaves an area. Months pass, sometimes an entire year. Then somehow, it returns to the exact same location. The same den, the same winter shelter, the same rocky crevice, the same hunting ground. Researchers tracking snakes with radio transmitters have documented this repeatedly. Some species travel surprisingly long distances only to return with remarkable accuracy. This isn't random wandering. A snake cannot return to a place if it has no memory of where that place is. Somewhere inside its brain, that location has been stored. And that raises an even bigger question. What else does it remember? Imagine surviving an attack. A bird nearly grabs you. A fox almost catches you. A human comes dangerously close. If you lived through that experience, would you behave differently next time? Most animals do. And snakes are no exception. Researchers have observed snakes changing their behavior after stressful encounters. A snake disturbed repeatedly in one location often becomes more cautious. Some begin avoiding certain areas entirely. Others alter their daily activity patterns. Some become more defensive. Others become more secretive. These changes don't happen by accident. They happen because the snake remembers. The experience becomes information, and information becomes survival. But memory isn't only about danger. Sometimes it's about opportunity. In the wild, finding food is never guaranteed. Every successful hunting location matters, and many snakes appear to remember exactly where success happened before. A snake that finds prey near a certain burrow may return repeatedly. A snake that discovers an area rich in rodents often continues revisiting it. Over time, patterns begin to emerge. Not random movement, not blind instinct. Strategic decisions based on previous outcomes. The snake is effectively asking a simple question. Where did success happen last time? That answer shapes where it goes next. And this behavior becomes even more impressive when we look at migration. Because some snakes perform journeys that seem almost impossible. Every year, thousands of snakes emerge from winter dens. Then they spread out across vast landscapes. Fields, forests, wetlands, rocky hillsides. Months later, they return, often to the exact same den. The precision can be astonishing. Scientists studying rattlesnakes have documented individuals returning year after year to specific communal dens. The journey isn't guided by luck. It isn't a random search. Somehow, the snake retains a mental record of where safety exists, a memory that survives season after season. But perhaps the most surprising discovery comes from laboratory studies. Because when scientists began testing snake learning, the results challenged decades of assumptions. Researchers once believed snakes were incapable of complex learning. Then experiments started producing unexpected results. Certain species learned to navigate simple mazes. Others learned to associate particular environments with food. Some altered their behavior based on repeated experiences. The learning wasn't as fast as mammals. It wasn't as obvious as birds. But it was there, hidden beneath a calm exterior. A snake may not think like a dog. It may not learn like a crow. But it learns. And learning without memory is impossible. Every lesson leaves a trace. Every experience leaves a mark. The snake carries those marks forward into the future. Yet there is one type of memory that remains especially fascinating. Recognition. Can a snake recognize an individual? The answer is more complicated than most people expect. Snakes don't rely heavily on faces. They don't process the world the way humans do. Their primary language is scent. Every creature leaves behind a chemical signature, an invisible fingerprint, and snakes are masters at reading it. Research has shown that many snakes can distinguish between familiar and unfamiliar scents. Some recognize their own scent trails. Others can identify mates. Some can even distinguish specific individuals within their species. To a snake, scent is identity, and identity is memory. The animal isn't simply detecting a smell. It's recognizing information it has encountered before, which means that, in its own way, the snake remembers who belongs in its world and who doesn't. But none of this compares to the final piece of the puzzle, the reason snake memory matters so much. Every snake alive today carries the legacy of millions of years of survival, not because it is the strongest, not because it is the fastest, but because it remembers enough. Enough to find shelter, enough to avoid danger, enough to locate food, enough to navigate a complex world filled with threats. For generations, people looked at snakes and saw simplicity. What scientists increasingly see instead is efficiency, a brain designed to remember exactly what matters. Nothing more, nothing less. And perhaps that's the most remarkable thing of all. A snake doesn't waste memory. It doesn't clutter its mind with unnecessary details. It remembers only the information that increases its chance of survival. Every safe hiding place, every dangerous encounter, every successful hunting ground. Stored, retained, used, again and again. So the next time you see a snake sliding silently through the grass, remember this. You are not looking at a creature driven entirely by instinct. You are looking at an animal carrying a map of past experiences inside its head. A survivor shaped by memory. A hunter guided by lessons. A living archive of information gathered over a lifetime. And somewhere, long after it disappears from sight, those memories will continue guiding every decision it makes. Because the snake may forget many things, but it never forgets what keeps it alive.